Welcome into the live stream here for McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That's Tyler.
What it is, sir?
How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Got your close up over there.
Oh. I don't even know that. I don't even know this was on.
Oh yeah, we got to the second major. It's all dark.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, we're still here. This is called the spooky episode of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel, where we scare you. There she goes. Fired her up. Yeah, second major PGA Tour. I got up and they teed off at 6 a.m. this morning, local time, our time. There's not a lot of names at the top, so it's gonna be one of those weekends where there's gonna be some movement out of nowhere because most of the guys, I know JT's struggling. I think Scotty Scheffler finished -1. Rory, I think, was +1. John Rahm, I think, had a good day. Brooks struggled. A lot of the big names struggled today, so it's going to be an interesting weekend because these guys will not do well. It's been so much rain there that
Where are they?
They're in Quail Hollow in Charlotte.
Ah.
There's been so much rain that the rough is very high. So if you hit it in the rough, you're toast.
Huge water puddle right there that we just showed. Massive.
And if you don't hit it a long way, the ball will not roll in the fairway. And so you're creating longer irons in on already a course that's long. And they have
I was hitting irons 190 yards at what's it called? Topgolf.
Really?
Yep.
Like, do you know what iron you were hitting? 190.
It was like a 4.
Okay.
Or 5. I don't know.
Stroking
it was an iron.
It was an iron. That's good at Topgolf because they skew you back a little bit. They make it difficult for you to hit it the correct distance. They don't want you hitting it over the net.
Yeah.
So if you're hitting at 190,
I wouldn't be able to hit it over the net.
Yeah, but you're hitting at 190 with an iron. You probably got a little pop in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they got sub pumps underneath the greens, and so the greens are very firm. So it's very difficult for them to hold them. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. You know, we'll see what happens as it goes on. Our guy Taylor Moore, I think he finished +2. He was at -1 and bogeyed. He's got to get the flat stick hot. He is everything's together. He's just got to get the flat stick hot. He's missing a lot of he's giving himself a lot of opportunities in missing putts. So when he gets the putter cranked up and the putter hot, we're good. Like I say, Bryson's +1. So he's in 80th place, right? So all the names are struggling a little bit today. The more you know.
How about that?
How about that?
So we're about to get rolling. We'll get started for a little while. But yeah, I could tell it was dysfunction. Dude, I've got a lot going on, as you know.
Brother,
there's a lot of things happening that I can't really talk about.
Yeah.
That are happening behind the scenes.
Yes. I'm aware.
And it's not
personal.
It's not anxious or anything, but there's just a lot there.
Yeah. Before we hit the button so I don't get in trouble. Dude, I'm telling you before, I got a lot of stuff going on too, obviously with work, and then, you know, my oldest son's graduating, so we got 875 things to do with graduation.
Yep.
And so before we get started on the podcast, so I can technically say I did not talk about this on the podcast.
Okay.
Because we haven't hit the button yet. So only the YouTubers. I'm not joking when I say this. I feel like I have been to the school every single day since like last Wednesday. And like, we'll go this time and it's about college decisions. And this time it's National Honor Society. This time it's the who made 30 pluses on the ACT and this. And then we go back this time and then there's an award show tonight. And it's like, and I'm like, is there any way?
This is where I benefited from Carson just sort of playing it low key, you know?
Is there any way, I'm just asking for a friend, if there was any way to like put everything into one thing where you go, Carson McCready, going to Arkansas.
There's too many students. That's why they can't do it. And
I know, dog.
I will say this: these are the thing tonight that you'll go to. There will be decorum tonight, and then
what the hell does that mean?
It'll be respectful.
Okay. Do I have to dress up?
No, I don't mean that. It's just it'll be respectful. You'll actually hear about kids' accomplishments and stuff, and then next Friday it'll be an absolute zoo.
So I heard your on.
I mean, if when your child graduates high school and you have to go, that's my baby girl. Oh yeah, that's my baby. I mean, listen, bud. If this is the biggest accomplishment of her life, y'all have problems.
So
Like you have problems. Like if this piece of paper from fill in the blank high school actually means something, y'all got issues. Like it is not going well.
So what day was that? Was it, you did this on Blue Sky Live? Because I listened to the show. You went on the thing about the graduation, about that?
It was Monday.
Monday. All right. So
Because Caroline had two different things, and one was actually very enjoyable, and the other was just holy hell.
all right. So you said you literally in that deal, you were like, when they literally ask you, please hold your applause.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the very first person can
Monday-
be Aaron Aardvark. Woo! Yes, let's go! Woo, baby girl! Like, what are you doing?
That- Monday night, I had a thing. I don't know what it was. I think it was a National Honor Society thing. I don't remember what it was. But the lady, it was the principal of the high school, asked everybody to hold their applause to the end. Very first one. I just fell out. I was like, Neal would be proud right now. Neal would be proud. You can't. They can't. It's just. It is what it is.
It's bad.
It is what it is.
It's bad. And people have got to where now 2 years ago, people would very much vociferously agree with my take on this. Now they don't.
Yeah. It's
Now they don't. Now they're like, oh, come on, man. They're having fun. Yeah, but there's a place for things. And there's a place for not things.
There's probably a reason they ask you to hold their applause because they got to get through a shit ton of names. And if everybody applauded, they'd be there to 4 in the morning.
But if you applaud and do all that stuff, the next kid, he might not, or she might not have her name actually heard.
Yes.
And you're there to get your diploma. And what you're supposed to do is walk the stage, get your diploma, go back to your seat. And at the end of it, everyone applauds, the whole class, and the whole class moves their thing over. And okay, good. You graduated. Congrats. You did it. Awesome.
So how long is
And
the actual?
then you can go celebrate.
How long is this actual graduation going to be next week?
OHS is a couple hours.
Really?
It's not terrible.
All right. I mean, I'm here. I'm here for it.
But people get like, yeah, Big Ben says decorum is just not a celebrated virtue anymore. It's true.
Okay. Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah. I got to go to orientation today too for an hour and 10 minutes.
You liked the Masters in part because there's a lot of decorum there.
Yes.
People
know what the word means.
People are respectful
Now they know what the
of
word
one
means.
another, of the players, of the venue.
Mhm.
There's moments for applause, and there's moments that are meant to be quiet.
I just want to go on record and say that after listening to Neal's rant on Monday, I obeyed the rules just like I was asked to obey the rules. I was a rule follower. How about that?
Yeah, I grew up in a house where you followed the rules.
I don't know.
You just did. That was you
you
followed the rules.
I know this is going to shock a lot of people. I was a rule follower in high school. I'm going to stop it there. I was a rule follower there. My kids are rule followers, thank goodness. I don't know how they got that, but we figured it out. Mama runs a tight ship, so she keeps them in line. All right, you ready to crank them up? I had to get that out before we started the podcast part, so I wouldn't get in trouble. But I had to say it. You got anything else before we get started?
Well, no. Regular size Ben says the Japanese seem to have it figured out.
I don't know anything about that.
I'm gonna. No. Shut up, Neal.
No? Is this a tariff thing?
No, it's not a tariff thing at all. It's
sushi.
I do have a lot of respect for their culture.
Have you ever been
Japanese
to Japan?
culture? Never. I want to go. I've never left the States except for 2 hours in the 5th grade when I went to Tijuana.
Like, I would like to go.
Yeah, I would be interested to see Japan. But I do have a lot of respect for their culture. There's a lot of respect and things in their culture. Like I would imagine that at a Japanese high school graduation, I would imagine there's a ton of decorum.
Yeah, no idea.
Would be my expectation. Yeah. If I went to a Japanese university graduation,
I feel like I'm one of these new baseball parents. This is like my first rodeo with a graduation, so I'm going through all kinds of stuff right now. But I'm getting indoctrinated. I'm getting it. I mean, we got the prom stuff was different for me. The graduation party stuff's different for me. All the award shows are different for me. So but I will say this: and this is not a joke when I tell you this. In the last week and a half, and we're still a week out from graduation. This is my whole point.
Yeah,
we're still a full week and a day from graduation.
8 days. Yeah,
I've bet you. I've been to the school and then things 10 hours.
Really?
And we still 8 days off.
I haven't, other than to check a kid out in the office, I haven't been at the school since the end of the soccer season, and I look forward to 2 years from now saying I haven't been to this school since the end of the soccer season 2 years ago.
You're going to come hang out with me next year and watch Brock play.
No. My days.
We'll get you to a game.
My days. Well, I might come to one of Brock's last games.
Hey, congratulations to the Lafayette Commodores for winning the North Half and going to the state championship. They did.
How about that?
All of our guys. So, congratulations. All right, let's do it.
How much smaller is Lafayette than Oxford?
I think they're a 4A. I don't know. I get confused. I guarantee there's somebody in the chat that can tell me. I think they're 2 classifications smaller.
Is that right?
I think. I don't know. But it's awesome because I don't know, like 7 of the guys or 8 of the guys that started, like Tanner Harris didn't play with us. There's like one other guy. Everybody else was like on our summer league team. So it's just fun to see them have success.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Welcome into episode 283 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That's Tyler Siskey here on this Thursday afternoon. Hope everyone's having a good wrap up to your week. Lafayette's 5A.
5A.
According to Drew, who I think would know. Oxford's
Drew knows.
7A.
That's my guy. Drew knows. It is 2 classifications, 7A and 5A.
Yeah. This podcast brought to you by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, 0 sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, I'm rocking with the guava strawberry today. The guava strawberry, very good, very fruity. If you're a strawberry person, I encourage you to go get the guava strawberry rainstorm. But the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping, and you can get truck month savings on all Chevy and GMC trucks. Take over $14,000 off MSRP on the new Silverado pickups, or get financing as low as 2.9% APR for 72 months. At Cooper Hyundai, you can get low 3.99 APR on Hyundai Elantra, Tucson, or Santa Fe, or up to $2,000 in bonus cash now all month long at Cooper Chevrolet GMC Hyundai today. And make sure you give them a call at area code 256-236-4481. We're also brought to you by the official RV dealer, McCready and Siskey. County Line Campers right there off exit 38, I-10 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Are you ready for Memorial Day weekend? It's right away. The road trip that you've always been waiting to take begins right there at County Line Campers in Gulfport, Mississippi. You can explore the massive selection of best brands of RVs, from small, cozy campers to luxury motorhomes. You can get unbeatable deals, flexible financing, and free orientation with every single purchase. The team of experts are here to guide you every mile of the way. When you purchase from County Line Campers, you will get full transparency every step of the way. And don't forget, this month, all McCready and Siskey listeners will receive a free weight distribution hitch with the purchase of any new travel trailer. But wait, there's more. Any member, and this is awesome, any member of our armed forces or first responders will receive an additional $500 off any new or pre-loved RV purchase. And so make sure you go check them out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and all the good stuff, and check out the deals and Miss Destiny's walkthrough. And when you think about camping, think about County Line Campers. How about that?
Have they taken that camper to Oklahoma yet?
I don't know. I forgot to ask our guy. I don't know. I haven't asked.
Okay.
I think that I know it was back. I know it was back the next day and already cleaned up. I do know that. They didn't waste any time with that. I do know that. Are you ready to crank her up?
Yeah.
All right. So this comes from like the lives I was doing, a lot of anxiety this past week. So, I call this old recruiting news. Jackson Cantwell committed to Miami, basically over Georgia and Oregon. He's the number 1 tackle prospect in the country in this class. And there were a ton of, especially on the lives, because we have a lot of SEC folks that watch us and all that stuff. A lot of Georgia folks upset, not understanding.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a lot of media reports, Twitter reports of like it was about development and all this stuff. I'm like, guys, like, I'm having a tough time understanding why we still haven't grasped this concept yet in this new world. It's very evident that, and it's fine, it's legal, it's what they do. But if we think that finances didn't have a thing in this decision, we're kind of kidding ourselves a little bit. And when you look at Georgia, I think Georgia fans get upset. It's like, oh, why couldn't Kirby pay them and all this and match the money and all that stuff? And you gotta, and again, our show, we live in reality, right? And fandom shrinks that down. You got to understand where Georgia's coming from a little bit. If Georgia goes out and pays this guy what he's been offered everywhere else, if Georgia matches, right?
Yeah.
When he walks in the door, he's going to be the highest paid guy on the offensive line. And Georgia's got really good guys on the offensive line.
Yeah.
That makes it a difficult locker room. Why are you paying this, which we've talked about the show till we've been blue in the face, right? Why are you paying this guy $1 gazillion?
You know, someone sent me a
no, we're not.
bunch of
you
matches.
Better save those because we're gonna need them in a minute.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was just going to say. Looking at the agenda today, I need to go get one of those.
Yeah, you need to get a box, but it's gonna be actually quicker than you think. But the point of the drill is this: is that Georgia can't just go pay match offers with all these players because you got to get it. Kirby's done a great job of like as good as it can be done, in my opinion. And maybe you disagree with me. But in today's world, without paying exorbitant prices for players,
yes,
he's done as good of a job as anybody of assembling a roster.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
And so when you look at Kirby and you look
There's a reason that players in professional sports enter on rookie scale deals.
Correct.
And there's a reason that first-round picks make more than seventh-round picks.
Yes.
There's a reason that first-round picks make more than undrafted free agents. There's a reason that you have structure. It makes it where, yes, there might be some people who think they're underpaid, but it's likely because it was some sort of a contractual thing, and they know there's a way out of it. You can't just start – I understand the fan emotion of just pay them.
Right.
Well, you will create massive locker room issues inside of a building, and those issues will be fractious.
Particularly in a building where the players have a case. You know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of 5 stars in that room and 4 stars and 5 stars in that O-line room. You know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch. So
yeah, Hayden, I'd tell you the number if I've heard it. I don't know what the kid got.
You talking about this kid?
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know. I haven't asked. I don't know. I've heard around numbers, but I don't have any ability.
What have you heard?
Around 2.
Yeah, I was going to guess around $2 million.
That is not even. That is literally what I've been told.
And those are numbers that you just can't.
I do not have that confirmed.
Yeah, you just can't do much of that
because I haven't asked.
You just can't do much of that. I mean, the whole. Well, just pay this one and pay this one and pay this one. Okay, well, then what about the rest of them? Because then they're going to want to get paid too.
Yes.
And then when you bring them in, your established players are going to go, well, he got what?
Yes.
And it's not a draft.
Now, this kid's a great player. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But to your point, I get it. But here's the thing is like when you look at, and I've said this before.
Oh, and by the way, Hayden says, no, I just mean in general. I will say, I've said repeatedly, one of the fixes to this is transparency.
Yes. They
and it's one of the things that the schools will fight like absolute mad. They do not want you to know. They do not want you. They don't even want you to know who's coming in on a visit. They don't want you to know. They kind of do want you to know, but they don't want you to know. But it's a fix.
So transparency, I can say this. That's fine. I'm on a lot of calls and things, right? And transparency is one of those things that has been proposed, I don't know, Neal, 864 times, and it gets miraculously just never shows up on the agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because of what you're saying. It's like, hey, let's just let that one, let's leave that off the next agenda.
Well, the coaches know it would create issues in the locker room. I think, we'll get to the Barkley thing in a minute, because I thought what he said was, I was kind of waiting for someone to say it out loud. Someone did, and it turned out to be him, and he's got a huge voice. I think the fans, if they heard the numbers, would go, wait, what?
And it wouldn't be on the superstars.
No.
I don't think.
It'd just be everybody. It'd be, wait, what?
I think if you said...
I mean, I'll say it as a parent who's paying for college. It's stupid.
No argument.
I mean, it's stupid. I mean,
it's not even
you're going to college. You're getting your college paid for. It's expensive. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
Room and board paid for. Meals paid for. You get a tutoring paid for. I mean, it's really hard in general interdisciplinary studies when you take nothing but 100 level courses, I'm sure. But still, all your tutoring in the event that you needed is paid for.
Yes.
And you want six figures to play college football? Stop. I'm sorry. I'm not even man yelling at cloud. I'm like, whatever. Get what you can. I'm happy for the people that get paid. Good for you. I'm happy for anybody who cashes in on other stupidity. I also can call it stupid.
Correct. Two things can be true at
once.
once.
Two things can be true at once. When you don't want the kids to get paid. I didn't say that.
No, I mean,
I have, you're going to talk about Saban in a minute. I have the exact same feelings that Nick Saban has, which was, yeah, I'm all for pay for play. I mean, I'm all for NIL. Name, image, likeness. Sure. Absolutely. You get a deal with a car dealer. They're willing to pay you some money to say, hey, I drive a Clark Ford. You should too. Awesome.
Yeah.
You get some local restaurant in town to go, I eat at St. Leo and you should eat at St. Leo too. Hey, I like to go have a pizza at Funky's. And when next time you're in Oxford on the square, you should have a pizza at Funky's. Cool. That's not what this is.
No. All right.
This is pay for play. This is salary at public institutions. And at Arkansas, the whole state of Arkansas just said, and by the way, we won't put any income tax on it. Well, what about the school teacher? Why should she have income tax taken out of her check? Because she doesn't run fast?
Yeah,
because she can't tackle? Are you effing stupid? The whole thing. People go, you don't really like what you cover. I'm like, it's not that. I just call out pure stupidity when I see it.
Yeah,
You're not going to tax NIL inside the state because you think that might help a kid play for the Razorbacks? Meanwhile, there's teachers.
Well, then the other thing is once one passes it, then they all got to go pass it. You know what I mean? Like it's a shit show. You gave me a good segue there, so I'll hit this other one in a minute. So Nick Saban was on Paul Feinbaum, at the Regions tradition, or Regions Classic, whatever it is, where he plays. He was on there, and Feinbaum kind of asked him about the Trump Commission and all that stuff, and he in quote he says he doesn't think he needs to be the tip of the spear, but would love to help anybody with the process because of his experience and all that stuff. And then if you really watch, it's like a 4-minute interview. You can see it on Twitter. It's really good. Coach kind of goes through the whole thing, and he says it very, very good. If you watch the whole 4-minute thing, is like there's a lot of people that know the solutions to this thing. It's just a matter of getting together and doing it, right? And so that's going to be the trick. And then, look, here's the simple way to put it, and I'm going to avoid the match burning today. Look, I'm being serious on this for a second. To fix the problem, okay, this is the simplest way to put it, and we're fixing to get a lot of this in the next few days. To fix the problem, okay, you have to get to the root of the problem. All right, and right now, the root of the problem is we have infinitive lawsuits and infinitive lawsuits that are coming up every single time because our governance of college athletics is coming one federal injunction at a time. And so the only way to actually fix the problem, because right now we're putting Band-Aids on bullet wounds. The only way, which we've said on here a gazillion times, to actually fix the problem is however they decide to do it, whether it's to break off or inside the NCAA. There's 800 different people have ideas, right? But you have to gain, like the NFL, the antitrust exemption, and you have to collective bargain. Without that, we're just going to continue to go to court in the infinite lawsuits. What I get frustrated is we get all these committees and we get these people that have these great ideas, and they're fixing these problems that are down the road from the actual root of the problem. And so we're putting Band-Aids on bullet wounds. It's time to have surgery. If you want to fix the problem, you have to gain, however you decide to do it, okay, whatever you decide to do, you have to gain the same NFL antitrust status, and you have to collective bargain with the players, period. Anything short of that is never going to fix the problem. I've said it. I don't know what else to say. I think I said it pretty good.
I've said I don't think where they are right now is fixable.
Well, and it won't be.
Well, let me put it this way. Okay.
Coach said
I'm going to tie a couple things in. You want to fix graduations? You tell people, hey, we have security here. If you yell and scream before it's time to yell and scream, you're going to be escorted out. And then you know what you do? You escort somebody out. You send a message.
Yeah. In the A's.
When Aaron Aardvark's parents go off.
Don't wait to the J's with the A's.
See ya. So that's one way. Then the other thing that you have to do is that you have to be willing to be the people that go, this is stupid and we're going to fix it. This has gone too far. This is crazy. And you guys, the players, aren't going to get everything you want. There's going to be some pushback here. But to do that, you kind of have to be mean. And you're going to get labeled. You're going to get labeled. Every label that you can think that you could get labeled, you're going to get labeled.
Yeah.
But I know people in my field, journalism, that will push back against this because it's, in their eyes, you can't pay the players enough. And that's fine, but you can't keep calling it NIL when it's not NIL. This is pay for play. It's pay for play. NIL is tied directly to some sort of jersey sale, endorsement, whatever.
True name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, I mean, if 10,000 little boys at an Auburn game are all wearing the same jersey, it's probably not because they all think that's their favorite number. It's probably because of someone wearing a
Cam Newton jersey or Bo Jackson or somebody.
Whatever. So if in that world, let's say it's Jackson Arnold, whatever number he wears, he has some electric season, and by the end of the season, hell, there's 10,000 little boys running around that stadium with Jackson Arnold jerseys. Well, he should get a cut of that.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Absolutely. And that's most everybody was for that, including Nick Saban. It just went to a different place.
Really
and it
quick.
went there quick. And no one's willing to go, hey, whoa, hold up. This isn't what we meant to do.
And then, look, from where I get frustrated with the people that are like, pay the players whatever they want, they get whatever they want. Y'all screwed these guys for years. Everybody, including Coach Saban, including me, including Neal, everybody that really understands what's going on, we're all for players getting paid. But what they don't understand is, let's call it 40 kids, Neal. Okay, there's probably 40 on big teams. There's probably 40 players getting an exorbitant amount of money. Okay, there's not 85 or 120 people getting paid $500,000.
Right, sure.
So let's call it 40 players, and that's probably high. For the risk of overpaying, whatever you want to call it, you're overpaying 40 players. For the risk of doing that, you are costing, there's about 330 to, depending on what school you are, 330 to 400 and something kids on scholarship. You're taking away opportunities from people that aren't getting any money. The girl that's from, what's your place you like to do in Iowa all the time?
Dubuque.
The girl from Dubuque, Iowa, that's on the rifle team that's getting $0 in NIL or from collectives, that she's down here because she couldn't afford a scholarship, but she was really good at rifle. And she's down in Ole Miss getting an education. Well, all of a sudden, she's going to have her opportunity taken away from her because you're overpaying a backup on your football team.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about the same people who want all the players paid. They also say, oh, well, you can't do that. The money's got to come from somewhere. It's just the lack of knowledge of the big picture.
That's where you get into the politics of it, because their
their
solution is to take money from employees, to cut coaches' salaries, to all that stuff. And
well, that would be great, but that's not even going to do it.
But that's my point, though.
Yeah.
No one's willing. Well, it's why Charles Barkley said the quiet part out loud, and he used a big number, and he used that number for a reason. I mean, the truth is the guy giving the collective $20 a month, he's not moving the needle. It makes him feel good. He makes him feel like, hey, I'm a part of this. I mean, not really. You're paying $240 a month. That doesn't even make a dent in what you pay in the third string safety. I mean, I guess if enough people do it, sure, you start pooling some money together, but they're counting on the money from the big donors.
Yeah.
And the big donors are growing weary of it. Why? Because there's no ROI.
So Charles Barkley, on our good friend Mac and Cube, shout out to the guys at Mac and Cube. He said that he's given more money to Auburn, legal or illegal, than any other athlete in the history of the school. And the notion that I'm going to come up with a couple of $1 million every year so we can be good at basketball or football is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. AKA, we call that booster fatigue.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I get it, right? I mean, if Charles Barkley's a big name, people go, oh, you've made lots of money in the NBA, and he did. He makes lots of money in TV, and he does. He's very, very good at it. He's part of the most award-winning
great
post-game show in sports.
I think
he's fantastic.
On any sport.
Yeah,
I think it's the best.
All sports.
Yeah, I think it's the best show on TV.
It's fantastic. And he makes a lot of money. He's very successful. He's a business person. He's made a lot of money. Most people who make a lot of money, who are smart, when they give that kind of money, they expect return on investment.
Mm-hmm.
And literal return on investment. There's no return on investment in donating to collectives. I know your school wins, and there's an emotional investment in that, sure, but there's no actual return. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean that's in a lot of school, and that's in the pre-rev share era, and then where we're at right now with Kentucky spending all that money on, that's all coming from big boosters,
of
right?
course,
and
expecting those boosters to give that money year over year, and look, if the prices keep going up, and over the last 3 years, the prices have escalated like incredibly.
And there's no cap in that.
And there's no cap.
Yeah.
And so you're going back to the same people and asking for more. And what are they getting in return? The same, which is like not much.
Yeah. I mean,
Jeffrey made a really good point this morning. There are some people at some of these places that have FU money, but not the kind of FU money that's enough to go buy a professional team. This is as close as they get to being able to sort of own a team. Like, it's one of the reasons why at some schools, like Oklahoma softball comes to mind.
Okay.
There's a big donor there who basically funds everything. And I would assume it's a family, and they probably feel like they own Oklahoma softball. And they probably pretty much do. But
imagine they don't have a tough time finding a parking spot.
I wouldn't think. But there's not – you get my point.
Yeah.
I mean, I've waited for a while for someone to start saying this is stupid. And for Charles Barkley to say it, even though he said it on a local, not to take anything away from Greg and Cube, but he said it on a local / regional show, that's going to stop it from becoming this big national
what
thing.
It should be.
But one of the things I noticed was some of the pushback against Barkley, like on social media. People were mad at him. Like, what do you mean you're not going to give the money? People are, well,
blows my mind.
Yeah, and it's like, look, it's professional sports, and if you want them to work, to your point, at some point you have to professionalize the sports.
Correct.
I mean, you watch any professional sport, pick a professional sport. They've got collective bargaining, they have drafts, they have salary, either salary caps or luxury taxes or second aprons or whatever the case may be. There are things built in to regulate them. Not saying that they're all perfect, but if you're an NFL team, for example, and you finish last in the AFC East, the next season you're going to play a last place schedule. Everything is there are things that are designed to make it where you're a fan of a team, so New England Patriots. You're not that far removed from the glory days. And while right now you're not winning, you can envision a way back.
High draft picks, better
and
schedule.
So it's easy for fans to keep invested. You don't have any of that in the college game at all. And instead you have this system, this so freaking flawed system. And finally, maybe some people are still, I can't tell you the amount of pushback I've gotten over the last 2 years for saying these things.
Oh, yeah. It's nonstop.
Because I cover a program, Ole Miss, that has benefited from it.
They have.
Now, I'm lucky for my safety, the head coach that I cover in football has called the system stupid.
Yes.
I give Lane a ton of credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
But the system doesn't I don't use the word sustainable anymore because it's actually sustained itself longer than I thought it would with this. So I was clearly wrong with that. But you're going to have to professionalize it. And to professionalize it, there's going to be carnage. There's going to be damage. When you make something that was never all about the money, people are going to make money decisions. People are going to lose opportunities. A lot of young people are going to lose opportunities. Yep. It's coming. But we've decided that this means so much that we're going to do this. I mean, the story in The Athletic about what Kirk Bowles wrote in the Houston Chronicle about Texas, where Kirk Bowles, who would know, wrote that Texas's payroll will be 30 to 35 million, and The Athletic said it's probably about right, and that's not number one. And in the days of the shoebox money in your world, if I'd put all the shoebox money together and all of the little trips to the grocery store on Sunday morning when the kid came back from meetings and, oh, wow, my freezer's full. If I'd put all that money together, it wouldn't have touched 35 million.
Allegedly, of course. But what if I told you allegedly that 5 years ago, you could have taken 5 years ago.
Okay.
I didn't say 15. I said 5 years ago.
So the pre-2020 stuff.
What if I had told you you could have taken all the shoebox money from every single FBS team in America and it wouldn't have got to 40 million?
I'd believe it. Sure. Or close.
I didn't say a conference.
No. It wouldn't have come close. It was it's a totally different deal.
Every single team in America wouldn't have reached that if you put them all in the same box.
Look,
allegedly, of course.
There are guys getting out of the NBA draft process here in the next couple of weeks to go back to college
because of more money.
To make more money. Now,
basketball's gotten crazy.
Understand that if they asked 100 basketball people from a pure basketball standpoint, am I better off getting undrafted by an NBA team, going to the G League and playing, or going back to college? They would all go, you need to get into a professional setting. You need to develop your game. But now these guys are going to go to college because the money is so significant.
That's freaking
wild. Boogie Flan just did it.
Yeah, I saw
left the draft and listen.
The Alabama kid ended up staying, right?
LeBaron Filan's going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah. What is – help me because I'm an idiot. Difference between first-round money and the collective bargaining agreement at NBA to –
Well, a first-round pick is a 3-year contract guarantee.
Okay. And then second round not?
No.
It's just sign-a bonus?
Yeah, you get paid, but you got to make the team, and you're probably going to be on a two-way or you're going to be in the G League.
So the only way for guaranteed money is first round?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I was asking. I was curious.
Yeah.
And then,
but I mean, in terms of developing your skill set, where one day you can play professionally, you're much better off playing in the G League than you are in the ACC.
Gotcha. To bring what Coach said full circle, because I think a lot of people are trying to misconstrue his words. He wasn't saying that he wouldn't help with the commission on stuff. I think what Coach was saying is like, bunch of people know the answers. We don't need a commission to do that. We just got to get the people together to make the decisions.
Saban's problem is this: if he's the head guy,
he's going to be the fall guy.
Well, not even that.
Not the fall guy, but
he's going to take the heat.
Take the heat
because people are going to say all you care about is Alabama.
Correct.
He's not far enough removed from being the championship-winning coach at Alabama to come in and run college football.
I wish he would. Selfishly, Coach, I wish you would do it, but I understand. Selfishly, because he could get the people together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish he would, but I get it. I truly get it. All right, Neal, in case you haven't heard, spring is in the air, and so is it a perfect time to upgrade your ride at Kia of Meridian. We've got the coolest whips and the coolest people to help you drive off in style, whether you're looking for a fuel-efficient K4, a spacious Telluride, or something sporty like the K5, the Seltos. We've got it all at prices that will make you say, let's roll. Don't let the tariffs scare you away from Kia Meridian. Our fan favorites are built right here in the US of A with the interest rates as low as 1.9% on select models. Fresh deals, friendly faces, and fun rides. Come see us at Kia Meridian, where spring savings are in full bloom. And don't forget, when you mention the McCready and Siskey show, you get to spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, and more. So give them a call, area code 601-483-6444. And as always, we're brought to you by the official RV dealer of McCready and Siskey, County Line Campers, right there on I-10, exit 38 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Do you have a trade? As long as we ain't got to feed it, we absolutely need it. So we pay more for quality trade-ins than any big box store down the street. If you're looking to sell your RV, we buy RVs and also have a free consignment program, and we'll guarantee to sell your RV within 90 days. All right, don't forget about the accessories and service. They have a huge 6-bay service department that can complete almost any job needed on nearly any RV. If you need warranty repairs, they are an authorized Keystone, Forest River, and Gulf Stream repair facility. They will fix your rig even if you didn't purchase it from them. So make sure you go follow them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Check out their deals and see Miss Destiny's walkthrough videos. And when you think about camping, think about County Line Campers.
You mentioned spring being in the air. Well, summer is just around the corner, and the folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting a summer bod is out, clearly, and getting your savings bod is in. This spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank. You could be saving with Mint Mobile. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan. Bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless. Get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/MPW. That's mintmobile.com/MPW. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, 5 gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Let's go. I'm sure I didn't get a chance to listen today or some of yesterday. I'm sure y'all talked about it. But since we've had our show last, and we've talked about it on our show a few times, baseball sets a new policy to eliminate lifetime bans following the death of players. Obviously with Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson. I'm kind of 50-50 on this, not about the policy and all that stuff. When it comes to Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, what's the best way to put this? I think there are lifetime, quote-unquote, lifetime bans and things on these players that they kind of served their time, and they were punished enough before we had to do this lifetime ban. And like Pete Rose, I'm still not on the – I think it's a travesty that he's not going to be able to see himself go into the Hall of Fame. I think it's a travesty that what happened with Shoeless Joe, again, that was 100 years ago, right?
106.
And then when it talks about, you can say what you want to say about the steroid level era and all that. Do I think it helped players? Absolutely. But there are players that if you have any kind of brain that would know that with steroids or without steroids would still be on the Hall of Fame. I'm glad that now maybe he can get in, and maybe it's some solace for his family or some kind of deal for his family. But I think it's, regardless of what, that's just my opinion. I think it's terrible that he passed away not going to the Hall of Fame, and we're going to wait till, like, there are people that do things much worse. I mean, we let people out on parole every day to get to go live their life. And when you've paid the time, let them go live their life. But I don't understand putting a lifetime sentence on something that's not really that big of a deal, in my opinion, because it didn't happen when he was a player.
I'm not a huge Hall of Fame guy. I've been to the Baseball Hall of Fame. They have all the plaques and stuff.
Yeah, I've been there.
I think you solve this by asking, was he a Hall of Fame player? And the answer is yes. And then you include the negative on the plaque. It's people go there to read about the history of the game, to see the history of the game. Pete Rose, and Chase said this the other day. He's exactly right. You can't tell the history of baseball without talking about Pete Rose.
Correct.
Any more than you can talk about it without talking about Barry Bonds.
Fair. Do you think Barry Bonds will be in the Hall of Fame without steroids?
Yes.
I agree. Who else? Roger Clemens.
Probably. And then after that, here's where the steroid thing gets really complicated. I mean, I'll use the same example I always use. Mark Grace. Pull up Mark Grace's numbers. Mark Grace played
18 years.
Something like that. Baseball Reference.
Who are you talking about, Mark Nunez, in the chat? I don't know who he's talking about.
All right. Mark Grace had a career WAR of 46.4. It's really good. He had 2,445 hits. It's pretty good. 173 home runs. He had an OPS plus of 119. Means he was significantly better than the average player. He had a career OPS of 825. It's pretty damn solid. He did not use steroids. Played for the Cubs mostly, then Arizona. Won a World Series with Arizona in 2001. Went to the playoffs with the Cubs several times. What if Mark Grace had used steroids? How would his numbers have changed?
Yeah. Dale Murphy's one for me. I'm a Braves guy. Dale Murphy's big for me. Look, I just, regardless, I don't know, man. I just, it bothers me. Like, I'm okay with, like, hey, if you say 20 years, 25 years, whatever it is, but to do this thing, like, some of these guys to not even get, and if it's important to them, some of them may not care, but most baseball players do. That's a big accomplishment. But how many guys did it and they didn't get caught? You know what I mean? Like, how many guys didn't get caught that did it? Because during that era, it was very prevalent.
Sure. But my point on Grace, right, is he probably would have played longer. Mm-hmm. Most of the steroid guys played longer. 173 home runs may have turned into 250 home runs. 2,445 hits may have turned into 2,900 hits. A lot of fly balls hit the wall, get out.
Yeah.
No one will ever consider him for the Hall of Fame. Rafael Palmeiro, who was a very similar player, did use steroids and had completely different numbers.
Yep.
What numbers would Palmeiro have had he not used steroids?
Yeah. No, I agree that I'm not saying Barry Bonds didn't. I'm just saying Barry Bonds was a great player long before that ever hit. Barry Bonds was a dude before any of that hit. But I don't know. I just don't. I'm not in the. Like, when you look at Pete Rose, I saw a clip of Pete Rose and it resurfaced, and I'd seen it before. He was on some show before he passed, and I think it may have been on the Netflix documentary that I saw it. The stat that he's the most proud of, which I think is awesome because it tells you what kind of competitor he is. He had 4,200, whatever it was, hits. He won like 1,970 something games, which is like 200 more than the next. As a player, he won like 200 and something more than the next guy, and that was like Willie McCovey, I think, was number 2 or something. But he said, think about that. That was what he was the most proud of. Is he obviously it demonstrates leader, competitive character, all those things. But he said, imagine playing somebody winning 100 games every year for 19 years, and they're still going to be 77 short. I mean, that's one of the things that.
No, it's remarkable. Yeah, no, I mean, I grew up in that era. I mean, Pete Rose was a star when I was a little boy. He was part of the big red machine when I was
Who was your favorite player
growing up.
Yeah. Did you have one?
Yeah, I did. George Brett, Ryan Sandberg. Probably Sandberg. Sandberg broke into the majors when I was 12.
Yeah, I was a Dale Murphy guy because I'm a Braves guy.
Yeah, I remember Dale Murphy.
Dale Murphy,
really
not
well.
in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
Yeah.
There's another one. He didn't do it. There's another one that would have definitely benefited.
We would sometimes go to Texas when the Rangers played, just when the Royals played, just so I could see George Brett.
What's that? 3 hours from you? 3:30?
4 hours. Not bad.
All right, staying in baseball, I saw this. This was awesome. This is awesome.
My first favorite player was Ivan De Jesus.
Oh,
He was the Cubs shortstop, but he got traded in the Ryan Sandberg trade, ironically.
Where did he end up?
He went to Philadelphia. When and I liked the Baltimore Orioles uniforms when I was a kid, and they had a center fielder named Al Bumbry. He was one of my favorite players.
Yeah, Mark, I'm with you on those, but they're already in the Hall of Fame. They would have been better though.
I liked Ken Singleton. The Orioles and the Pirates played the World Series when I was 9. I remember being real into that.
Damn.
Pirates won. Willie Stargell.
82, 83?
79.
Holy shit. I don't remember that one.
Willie Stargell, Omar Moreno.
What year was the George Brett Pine Tar? What year was that? 84?
No, it was like 82, 83.
That's one of the very first memories I have.
I remember the Phillies-Royals World Series of like 81.
Damn.
It was good. Like they played in the daytime. Not like now where all the games get played at midnight. They played in the daytime. Everybody was kind of fighting.
That's great.
I remember the Yankees beating the Royals to go to the World Series. Chris Chambliss hit a home run, and
I remember
Yankee
Chris
Stadium
Chambliss.
was crazy.
Former Brave.
He was a Yankee before that. I remember the day Thurman Munson died. You don't remember Thurman Munson?
I know the name. I don't remember him playing, though. I know who he is. I know the name. But I don't remember him playing.
In my neighborhood, we played we played baseball till somebody broke a window. Then we'd go to wiffle ball, and we'd start wrapping the wiffle balls. But that was a fun time to be a kid, man. I mean, everybody in my neighborhood, this is how different life was. I'll get off this. I promise. Nobody cares. I tell Carson this stuff, and he's like, wow, I bet that was fun. And I'm like, it really was fun. Baseball was big in the 70s. In the late 70s, baseball was big. And there weren't tons of games on. You had Monday Night Baseball with Howard Cosell and Don Drysdale and those guys.
I don't remember that.
And you had the Saturday game of the week.
Okay, I remember that. They had that for a while.
And, man, that was kind of it. Until, I guess right around 1980, WTBS came and WGN came. And suddenly you could watch the Braves and the Cubs and then even a few White Sox games. And suddenly there's this, what you thought was like this smorgasbord of baseball available. But my point was, even before that, everybody knew, because we all collected baseball cards.
Yeah.
Everybody knew the Red Sox lineup. Like, I remember on my street.
Did you build your own set? Did you ever get a piece of paper and build your own set? Like you got the cards and you had a sheet that had it said I did it in the 80s, like 86 tops. And it had the numbers like 1 through whatever.
Yeah.
And you would get them with the number on the back and you'd cross it out and you'd build your own set. You ever do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I did it all the time.
So we'd buy Topps, Fleer, and Donruss.
That's it. I remember when Upper Deck came out.
Upper Deck.
Dude, that was when that was high dollar.
Yeah. But we would go to Handy Foods and we'd buy cards. And man, it was fun.
You get a case of cards for like $12.
But on our street, so I lived on Brookwood, and you'd go up Terra to get to 100 Oaks. And on 100 Oaks, 2 or 3 of the boys that lived on 100 Oaks were big Red Sox fans for some reason. And they would I remember on the street and they painted Boomer for George Scott, the first baseman for the Red Sox. That was the neighborhood I lived in. Everybody was a baseball junkie. We all knew baseball. And the kids now, I mean, they don't know who. It's wild to me, to think about how much it's changed. But Pete Rose was a big deal. I mean, Pete Rose was on that team with Joe Morgan and Tony Perez, Johnny Bench, and Davey Concepcion and Ken Griffey Sr. and all those guys. Those were like, when you're 6, 7 years old, those people are bigger than life.
So
And
when
you-
I when
so
I was
you
growing
get the
up,
you'd get the newspapers the next day, and you look at the box scores to see who won and what their stats were,
I remember.
and you'd watch. Not to interrupt you,
Oh, you're good.
Mel Allen, This Week in
Swift.
Baseball.
That's right.
That's
That's the best show on
that
TV.
came on Saturday morning. That was appointment viewing, man. 'cause
Best show on TV.
You'd see everything.
Best show on TV.
It was great. This Week in Baseball. I loved that show.
And they tried to bring it back once, but it didn't take off.
God, it was great.
It was awesome. All right, so sticking with baseball, I don't know if you saw this or not. I had no idea. There was a tweet that came out. I said, this can't be true. And I did some research. It's true. Max Scherzer, who's now on a 1-year deal with the Blue Jays. Okay, he's 40 years old. And he started.
He's paying his bills.
He started one game, and he's got a thumb. He's on the injury list. He's got a thumb issue. He went to. This is how it came out. See, he went to do a bullpen and see if he could go. He's only pitched one game, and his thumb's jacked up. This year, our man Max Scherzer is getting paid $15 million by the Washington Nationals.
Okay.
He's getting paid $30.83 million by the Mets. He's getting paid $12.5 million by the Rangers, and he's on a $15.5 million one-year deal with the Blue Jays. So my man is making $73.83 million to play baseball this year, and he's getting paid by 1, 2, 3, 4 different teams.
That's living right.
Like, hey, shout out to Max Scherzer's agent.
If you learn nothing else today, it's Max Scherzer's world, and we're just living in it.
Max, man, I had no idea. Like, I didn't even know baseball.
He's got 2 different colored eyes, right? One's blue, one's brown.
When he was healthy, he was the best pitcher in baseball.
That's why he's making all that money.
That's why he's still getting paid by 4 teams. But I had no idea that, and I know the Bobby Bonilla deal and all that stuff, and then Shohei's got his deferred to like next generation, right? But like, I guess baseball when they're doing all the deferred money and all that stuff, I guess that's what happens. But I guess there's no better thing to be than a dominant guy that moves a couple different teams. Good for freaking Max Scherzer, huh?
How about that?
How about that? Did you know that?
No, I did not.
That's great. That's wild. All right, shifting to your neck of the woods here. After we talked about it on Monday, I about fell out Monday night, and I saw your Twitter, so I know you did. Dallas Mavericks getting the first pick in the NBA draft with, I believe you said on the show, 1.8% or whatever it was.
1.83% chance.
83% the chance to get. I've been asked 86 times on live since then, do I think it was a conspiracy or all this? Here's my thing. I think it's very convenient.
What's that?
I think it's very convenient. My brain in the last 5 years, as you know, has really, my tinfoil hat has gone from having like a piece of tin like this high, like a little piece of foil on it like this big, to being a full-fledged tinfoil hat on a lot of things.
Yes.
Particularly in the last 5 years. I don't know why, but sometime in the last 5 years, my questioning of things has become greater. I don't know what would have caused that, Neal. Just something in the last 5 years has triggered my brain to question a lot of things. Softball thrown up.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it could be. I mean, I'm just glad we all survived the pandemic.
Well, with that being said, I don't think it would be a conspiracy because for the Mavs, there would have to be a lot of people in on this that would be like, I don't know if it'd be worth it to be in on it. You know what I mean?
So
unless I could be wrong, there just had to be there had to be a few people involved in this, correct?
It's the logical part of my brain wants to go, wow, how about that?
That's a lot. Where's that at? Which side is the logical on? How big is the logical
way
side?
Way over here, like in the left ear.
Okay.
Kind of where Trump got shot. When we hear nothing about that anymore. Went away.
TikTok, it's been fun. It's been great.
All right. I mean, but let's walk through this for a moment.
Okay.
Let's walk through this for a moment. And again, I'm not accusing anyone. I'm not. But let's walk through this for a moment. One of 2 things happened. It was either rigged or it wasn't rigged.
Well, that is, I think that's accurate. I think I can go with you on that. It's one or the other.
So if you believe that it wasn't rigged, If you believe that it was rigged, this is super easy to believe.
Easy.
Easy.
Really easy.
If you believe that it wasn't rigged, you have to go down this road. The Los Angeles Lakers, easily the biggest brand in the National Basketball Association, with the possible exception of the Boston Celtics. But they're right there. Lakers worldwide are one of the brands. It's like the Dallas Cowboys. It's just a big brand. I'm not saying you got to love them, you got to hate them. Not about LeBron, none of that. Nope. Big brand.
Big brand. I would say,
well,
arguably, it is the biggest brand in the NBA.
Before the trade, that brand was on the verge of not making the playoffs. Its most marketable player is one of the all-time greats, but he's 40.
He's aging.
He's still a great player, but he's approaching the end. The odds of LeBron still playing at 45, not good.
Great. Not great.
Mismanaged. They've traded away a lot of picks.
Mm-hmm.
Their second best player was an oft-injured Anthony Davis. Their third best player was Austin Reeves. They have problems. Magically, the Dallas Mavericks swoop in. Now, keep in mind, right around this time, this is important. You have to believe that none of these things matter.
Okay.
In January, and look, I love the game. I love the NBA. I could talk about the NBA for an hour a day. I love it. I watch way more than I should. I listened to a lot of Bill Simmons, Ron Russillo, NBA Ringer, OKC Dream Team, Down to Dunk, the Athletic NBA show. I listened to way too much. Okay. But the NBA was kind of dead. Ratings were in the toilet. It was getting lots of criticism. They just had their Christmas Day games, and the ratings weren't really good. Yeah, some people watched the Warriors, aging. They watched the Lakers, aging. The best players were not from America, blah, blah, blah. A lot of criticism, ratings in the toilet, not a lot of interest. And then the Dallas Mavericks swoop in, and they trade 25-year-old Luka Doncic, inarguably one of the best 5 offensive players in the game, to the Lakers in the middle of the season, creating this firestorm of NBA talk. And no matter whether you love the NBA or hate the NBA, the following cannot be denied.
It took the storylines.
Ratings went up.
Yeah.
People started watching. People got into it. They started seeing the other teams. And right now, the NBA is enjoying some pretty good ratings in the postseason. Some of the early numbers are really positive. People are watching. They weren't watching before the trade. They watched after the trade. The Mavericks in this trade took an ass beating. They got an injured Anthony Davis who got hurt 2 quarters in.
Yep.
They got like a couple of Max Christie and a pick, nothing. Trade made no sense unless you believe that the NBA may have said, hey, we'll take care of you down the road. Trust us.
Do you buy, and I'm adding this to this, okay? Let me ask you a question. So now,
hold on. So let me finish. They don't make the playoffs. They make the play-in. They don't make the playoffs. So they get in the lottery with a 1.83% chance at the first pick, which this year happens to be a generational American-born player. A generational American-born player. This isn't Risa Shea from last year where he goes to the Hawks. This isn't even, this isn't even a Luka that you've got to, okay, who's this kid? This is an American player who's been in the American spotlight for a few years and just got through playing a season at Duke where they went to where'd they go, Final Four?
Mm-hmm.
Went to the Final Four.
Lost to Florida.
That's right. So you got to believe that's a hell of a coincidence. That's a hell of a coincidence. The Dallas Mavericks, I think the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is like 4th or 5th largest market in the country.
It's big.
Their fans, huge fan base, loved them some Luka. And when they traded Luka, they justifiably said, screw you, we're done. jumped off the bandwagon, wore hats, chanted "Fire Nico" at all the games. Everybody was a lot of angst. There was only one way to make that angst go away. Give him a younger American, Luka. And one who may be better than Luka in a few years.
Do you buy it, though? All right, let's go back, because I saw this. New Orleans trades Chris Paul away.
Mm-hmm.
Unexpected, same kind of deal.
They get NBA voided it.
And then New Orleans gets the
first pick.
Who'd they take? Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis. Few years pass. He goes to L.A.
Mm-hmm.
Who gets the first pick? New Orleans.
Pelicans.
Who did they get?
Zion,
which was the same deal.
Generational.
So this is not the first time.
No. Now, look.
Is it that many, like 5 times in that many years is just a coincidence? When you got 1% chance to do it?
I mean, I guess, but come on.
And
not only that, Spurs get Victor Wembanyama. Jumped up in the deal to get Wembanyama. Spurs get the second pick. Philadelphia, which was worried about falling out of the draft because their pick was top 6 protected, not only keep in the draft, they get the third pick. There was a lot that happened. Utah got screwed. Charlotte got screwed. I mean, look, if you were rigging the draft, maybe you would put Cooper Flag in Brooklyn. Probably wouldn't, but it's awfully convenient.
It is convenient. All right.
Austin, thanks for the super chat. He says the part that gives the theories credibility is that not one mainstream media member will say one word about it being fixed. I'm convinced it's fixed. Here's the thing. In fairness to some of the mainstream media people, they pick a handful of media, and they are allowed to watch the actual drawing. Their deal is they put their phones away in a safe. Once they walk into that room, it's like at 5 o'clock. They can't communicate with the outside world for 2 hours. But it doesn't happen in some cloak and dagger room where nobody sees it. So you would, to fix it, and you could fix it, but to fix it, you'd have to be willing to, a lot of people would have to be in on that fix, would have to be quiet, and you'd have to be good enough to trick some, like Larson, who's a beat writer, covers the Utah Jazz. He has no incentive covering the Jazz to go, yeah, I'll play along with this. No, maybe, God, if he could break the story that the NBA lottery is rigged, journalistically, that's the biggest. You don't need a league pass after that. You'll get everybody will hire you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where I go with it, but it was not
convenient.
It was not if I were the NBA, it's not the outcome that I would have wanted if I was trying to project an air of objectivity.
Yeah. All right.
As you go into a postseason where there's a chance that your NBA finals are Pacers Wolves, Pacers Thunder. I mean, those are real possibilities as of today.
Yeah. On that, Celtics hang on last night. They played really good defense. They forced a game 6 versus the Knicks, and the Pacers, since we left, the Pacers closed out against the Cavaliers, and the Pacers await the winner. By the way, I was almost dead perfect here, and I did do it based on your deal. I know I got so after the Celtics lost and Tatum got hurt in game that'd been game 4, they were plus 380, not plus 400. I said it'd go up to plus 400. They were plus 380 to win the series, and I got a little bit of something on that. So thank you there. But the Celtics are hanging on, forcing a game 6, going back to New York for game 6, down 3-2.
Played a really strong game 5, and you just never know whether that was moral victory, win one for the Gipper, or whether they found something.
Yeah.
I don't think the Knicks are a great team.
Do you think the Celtics beat up with Tatum out? Do you think the Celtics can still, with Tatum out, win it?
The title?
Yes.
No.
You think they can win the series with Tatum out?
Unlikely, but yes.
Okay.
They would lose to the Pacers.
You think they'll lose to the Pacers?
No, they would lose to the Pacers.
Gotcha. All right.
As long as Halliburton and Siakam are healthy, yes, they would lose.
Okay. Timberwolves beat the Warriors in 5, finished that one up, and they await the Thunder Nuggets winner.
We got cheated out of the
Yeah.
Warriors Wolves
That would've been a
series
great
would have been a
series.
great series had Steph stayed healthy. The Warriors
Steve Kerr
the
said as
Warriors
much.
are really small. I think the Wolves would have won anyway, but it would have been a different series. And then the Thunder Nugget series has been just phenomenal television. It's taken years off my life, but it has been
The great game of the night.
it has been phenomenal television. The other night in the fourth quarter, the two MVPs played MVP basketball, and it was.
How about your boy
it was
Jokic
beautiful.
in the fourth quarter?
He was amazing.
The shot that he hit.
But hold on, he did get gassed, and the Thunder got him.
Yeah,
They hunted him on the other end.
Yeah, dude, the shot that he made on Chet with like a minute and change to go,
just incredible.
Like,
I couldn't believe it went in.
I mean, it didn't even graze the rim.
But the shot that Shea made for the dagger,
yeah,
that was Jokic so tired that he didn't
hedge.
He didn't hedge on the pick and roll. He didn't come out. He just kind of sagged back and let. They set a perfect. I think Dort set the screen, and he had a perfect look at it. And Shea's been kind of looking for that knockout punch highlight moment in the playoffs. I think he's been hunting it too much, and he got it at the end of Game 5. That was a big moment for him. That was a big moment for that team.
Do you think they close it out tonight?
I'm kind of
go Game 7.
Kind of 50-50. And if it goes 7, the problem you have is that
it's Game 7.
Nikola Jokic is on the floor in a Game 7. I thought in the fourth quarter the other night, I thought Denver looked tired, and I thought the Thunder looked like they were figuring things out.
Okay. All right, and then last thing, life advice. It's on your phone. I sent it to you the other day.
Okay, I'll find it 1 second. Let me first tell you that we're brought to you by our friends at Parish Brewing Company. Wherever you look for beer, look for Parish Brewing Company. They've got Ghost in the Machine. They've got Envy. Got Dr. Juice, a highly crushable juice bomb, 6% ABV. Just fantastic products at Parish Brewing Company. Wherever you look for beer, at a restaurant, bar, grocery store, whatever the case may be, look for Parish. You will not regret it. We are also brought to you by my friend Andy Ludicky, myperfectfranchise.net. Listen, if you're wanting to get out of corporate America, looking for your next business adventure, kind of wanting to take things into your own hands a little bit, maybe you're tired of all the different regulations, all the stuff with hirings and all that stuff. You just want to build your own business, build your own wealth, take control of your life. Get in touch with Andy. It's myperfectfranchise.net. I've known Andy for a while. I've sat down, had beers with him before. Great guy. He's a franchise veteran. He'll work with you to help you find a franchise or a business that fits your DNA. It's 100% free. No brainer for those of you looking to get into business ownership. He'll also contribute to your favorite team's college baseball NIL. He'll donate between $500 and $1,000 to your college baseball team, whatever team that may be. So it's Andy at myperfectfranchise.net or 404-973-9901. And we have life advice, which is, I'm getting to it. Oh, I got it. Life advice presented by our friend Cole Walters of State Farm Insurance. Cole is licensed in auto, home, life, health, business, and pet insurance for the whole state of Georgia. He soon will be licensed in the whole state of Alabama as well.
Oh-wee.
But that's coming soon. But for now, whole state of Georgia, 706-525-7850. You can also find him online at colewaltersinsurance.com. One of the things I'll say is about Chet Holmgren in the stream. He's so tall. People don't realize how tall that guy is. He's every bit of 7'1", 7'2". He is skinny, but don't forget, he spent a month basically where he was immobile this season.
Yeah, with his hip.
With the hip. He couldn't get out of bed. He couldn't do anything, so he lost a lot of his conditioning. This is not 100% Chet Holmgren. So just pointing that out. The question. What piece of advice would both of you give to a graduating high school student? Be respectful at the ceremony. Get to work. Whether you're going to college, if you're going to college, treat the academic portion of college like a job. Treat the academic portion of college like a job. Get up, get dressed, go to class. Try to avoid that temptation to get up 4 minutes before class starts, throw on a baseball cap and a ratchety shirt. No, get up, take a shower, get dressed, go to class, be awake, take notes. Don't miss class ever. Do your homework. Know where you are academically. Do I need to study? Do I need tutoring? Treat the academic part of college like a job. And then treat the other part of college like you would treat the part of your life that's not work. Have fun. You get to be young one time. Meet people. Do what you like to do. Don't worry about being cool. Join a club. You want to join a club? Silly. Like all these schools have all these goofy-ass clubs. If one of those goofy-ass clubs sounds good to you, join it. Give it a shot. Who cares what people think? The Dr. Pepper Club. You like Dr. Pepper. Join club with other people who also like Dr. Pepper. You might meet a friend.
Yep.
Go do fun things.
So,
if you like sports, go to the sports. If you don't like sports, don't go to sports. If you don't like the music that everybody tells you you're supposed to like, it's okay. Go listen to the music that you like to listen to. You don't have to conform to everything. Be yourself, but treat the academic part like work. And that way, you'll be prepared when it's time to go to work, to work.
all right, I'll give you. I've had to send many of young men. I've never had to send young ladies, obviously, with my job, to college, many for the first time. And I gave them a very simple formula. If you will go to every class, if you'll sit in the front 2 rows of every class and get to know your teacher or professor,
go to business.
Go to them, visit them during
hours.
office hours, introduce yourself. They will go out of their way to make sure you pass a class.
Yep.
If you do that, you will never fail a class. Anytime with any player in the history of time that failed a class. Did you go to every class? No, sir. Did you sit in the front 2 rows? No, sir. Did you get to know your teacher? No, sir. If you sit in the front 2 rows, you go to every class and you get to know your professor, you will pass every class.
Yeah, you won't fail because if it becomes obvious in that scenario that you're going to fail,
they won't let you.
They won't let you fail. They'll either get you out of the class, they'll sign the paperwork, whatever, to withdraw late.
They won't let you fail.
They won't let you go through that.
All right, that's one. 2 is this, and Neal kind of hit a nail on the head. Don't sacrifice who you are or what you want to become for someone else. During college, you're going to find yourself. Okay, that's the truth. You're going to find who you are as an adult during your college years. Don't feel the need to sacrifice yourself of what you want to become or what you are, your beliefs, your morals, or whatever, because you want to be cool with somebody else. It's not high school.
Yeah.
Okay. No matter what group that you identify with, okay, you're going to find other people with similar interest in college. Okay. Seek them out, be friendly. So with those 2 things, I think, and then the last thing from an educational standpoint is don't feel, particularly as a regular student, don't feel, if you don't know what you really want to do, don't feel pressure by naming that you're going to be cool by naming some major. Okay, go in it, whether it's undecided or everything else. I think Ole Miss calls it freshman studies or whatever you call it. Go in and find out what you want to do, because if you go in and you say, I want to be an accountant, and you major in accounting, and you go in and you take 2 semesters of 3 semesters of accounting stuff in classes, and all of a sudden you change, I want to be an engineer. Now you're going to throw away a bunch of these classes, and you're not going to be able to count them towards anyway, and it's going to take you longer to graduate. So if you don't know what you want to do, it's okay. There's options for that. Don't be embarrassed by it. Go do your general studies, do your core classes, get those out of the way, and then you can move into the major stuff your last 2 years of college. That would be my advice.
That's good.
My other advice would be that spring is in the air.
It is.
And so it's a perfect time to upgrade your ride as you go to college. At Kia of Meridian, they got the coolest whips and the coolest people to help you drive off in style. Whether you're looking for a fuel-efficient K4, a spacious Telluride, or something sporty like the K5 or Seltos, we've got something for everybody. All prices that will make you say, let's roll. Don't let the tariffs scare you away from Kia of Meridian. Our fan favorites are built right here in the US of A with interest rates as low as 1.9% on select models. With fresh deals and friendly faces and fun rides, come see us at Kia Meridian, where spring savings are in full bloom. And don't forget, when you take all your graduation money and you go buy you a Kia from Kia Meridian, make sure you tell them, hey, I heard about this at the McCready and Siskey show. And they're going to say, guess what you get to do, Big Daddy? You get to spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, and more that you can put in your dorm room or in your apartment and be the coolest guy on campus and meet tons of friends. So give them a call. Area code 601-483-6444. How about that?
I mean, if you can arrange for everybody to spin the wheel, I mean, just imagine how popular you'll be.
How about that?
We've been brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. We'll be back on Monday. Not exactly sure what format we'll have, where we'll be, but we'll have a show on Monday. And then not sure about the rest of the week.
Yeah, we'll have to check. We got graduation stuff.
Got graduation stuff. Got stuff. There's stuff. There's stuff.
Next week is going to be a great week. I'm so excited for you.
I'm so glad that you're excited.
Next week's going to be a great week.
Next week's going to be an interesting week.
It really is.
We're going to learn a lot about different things.
Too bad we got a show on Monday.
I would not have had time for a show on the day you're thinking of. Ain't no way.
I'm joking.
Fire extinguisher.
I'm here for it though. I'm excited.
I mean,
I'm the only one excited. I'm next week's gonna be a fun week for my guy Neal. Next week, it's gonna be a great week for all my friends, and I can just sit back and watch the world burn. I got a surprise coming next week too.
Do you really?
I do.
Okay.
Sometime early part of the middle, early part of the week, I got a surprise coming.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
surprise.
I can't tell you how many songs I've thought of that I could like intersperse.
Yeah. Is it legal? How you do that?
No, I can't.
Can't do it. It would get flagged.
It would get flagged.
Yeah. We can sing them.
Could sing them.
We could sing them.
Yeah. I could read the lyrics.
Yeah, you can do your spoken word lyrics that you do on rap songs. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
That'd be good. Next week's gonna be fun though. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Are you excited?
I mean,
not the other part. Or what do you like? All right. Well, we can't say anything. I can. You can't.
I don't know that I would use the word excited.
Yeah,
it's not the word I would use.
It'd be interesting.
That's for sure. Boy. And how, as Spanky used to say on Little Rascals.
Surprise. Like I'm genuinely, I'm just going to be like this. I'll be tuned in to every episode starting in the early middle part of the week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to miss it. It's going to be appointment viewing. So what time we're going live? What's 8:15's live time for Oxford Exxon podcast?
Blue Sky Live.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's 8:15 is
usually right around that time.
About 8:10, I'm going to pop some popcorn about 8:10. Maybe pour one out for the homies, get a Diet Miller, and just sit there at 8 o'clock in the morning, just like, just watching and laughing.
Oh,
about 8:15.
Yeah.
Sometime one of the early midweek days, I'm really excited about the show. I just think it's going to be great. There's going to be some great weekend drama in SEC baseball or something we can talk about. I'm excited to see what the SEC baseball tournament starts. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Oh, it starts Tuesday.
Because it's 16 teams, new format.
Are you going to be remote on the show?
It depends on whether Ole Miss plays Tuesday or whether they play Wednesday.
Gotcha. And a Tuesday would be who? I know they're doing the basketball version. Is it 9 through 16 play Tuesday?
Yes. And then the winners of that play 5 through 8 on Wednesday.
It's the same basketball tournament, right?
Yes.
Format?
Yes.
But just baseball. One single elimination.
Yes. And then they have 2 quarterfinals on Thursday, 2 quarterfinals on Friday, 2 semifinals on Saturday, and a final on Sunday.
You know what would be? You know what's going to be funny in the SEC baseball? We got to go, but the SEC baseball tournament. I was thinking about this with RPIs and all that stuff. If let's say because our boys at Missouri are hot right now. You know they're hot. Well, they won like 5 in a row now.
Something like that.
What if they win a game? You know, and now you start getting to that 5 through 8, and you got bubble teams on host deals, and they draw Missouri. They're going to have to like really play. They're going to throw. It's going to kill. It may. Somebody that's on the 5 to 8 host bubble in the SEC, in Missouri wins the game.
Yeah,
they could. You think they're going to count that RPI wise and mess with them?
It'd factor in, but I don't think. I think those teams that are that high are they're
probably okay.
They're pretty much set.
All right. I was just thinking about that. I was like, Missouri. What if Missouri wins one?
As a rule, you don't really make up ground or get punished for what happens in the tournament.
Unless you win it.
Yeah,
and you're out.
Yeah.
What if Missouri wins the tournament?
Well, that would be a news story.
All right. What about this? Is there a fix in the SEC office?
No, to protect Missouri baseball. No.
What if Missouri gets in the tournament? They win it. Would that get all 16 teams in?
No, because South Carolina wouldn't.
Oh yeah, I forgot about South Carolina.
A&M wouldn't make it.
Yeah, A&M. Well, they got swept last week. Right?
Yeah, they've
never mind.
They've already.
What does one of those teams win the tournament?
Probably not. It'll probably be one of the teams that doesn't need to win it, like needs to get out of there. And some coach is standing in the dugout going, "Son of a bitch, I got to pretend that I'm."
No weather. No, they will wait you out if the rain delays there. There's no weather. You can't say the weather's coming. Can't cancel.
I mean, like that's where Jay Johnson or someone at LSU just stands in the dugout, just seething as his team takes a 6-1 lead on Friday, going, "You sons of bitches."
Yeah,
because they don't want to be there. You don't want to pitch people. You don't want to.
All right, serious question.
You don't want your star shortstop to pull a hamstring because kids compete. You know this. And all of a sudden, they're competing.
Coaches want to win, too, most of the time.
Yeah.
Baseball.
By that point, they're kind of ready to get out of there. I mean, I've told this story before. I was covering Auburn, and Auburn was playing it was Arkansas. It was a Thursday night or Friday night game. It was an elimination game, so it was a Friday night game. And both coaches very clearly wanted to lose. Both coaches were headed to the tournament, hosting the whole deal, right? And I think Auburn won. And Hal Baird was so pissed at the Arkansas coach. He was like, "I tried." And he was like, "Hey, we don't want to be here." You know.
All right, serious question.
They both of them were like, because kids start competing, and next thing you know, your center fielder's running into a wall. Your starting shortstop is trying to stretch a double into a triple. Somebody pulls a hamstring. A couple years ago, Arkansas, their one of their better players turned an ankle really bad at first base, missed the regional. I mean, you don't want to get hurt you can't win a national championship in Hoover. You can't get to Omaha in Hoover. And so
will the teams that are seeded 1 through 4, okay?
Yeah.
So they show up, they'll be Thursday, right?
Thursday. And all 4 of those teams are probably already national seeds.
Do they throw their midweek guys or do they throw their weekend guys?
You can get away with throwing your midweek guy on Thursday, probably. You probably could even throw your Friday guy on Thursday because he would have thrown the Thursday before because they all start tonight. But, man, you got to get him out of there. Like
50 pitches.
Yeah, he throws 50, 60.
Almost like a bullpen.
It is. And you just got to go, you're out. We're getting you out, and we just don't – and you're bringing in relievers, but you're like, I'm not pitching anybody long. And then what happens is, but so you win, and now you got to turn around the next day.
Do it again.
And if you win then –
do it again.
Now the kids are – hey, we're going to win this sumbitch, you know? And so the good news is for those 4 teams, they all – so it's LSU. It's probably going to be Texas, Arkansas, LSU, and probably Auburn maybe, whoever.
Auburn, Georgia.
Vanderbilt maybe, Georgia maybe. Those 4 teams are all – and at most they'd only play 3 games, a quarter, a semi, and a final. Unlike –
Finals on Saturday?
Finals on Sunday. But, I mean, you get somebody sprain an ankle on Sunday, he might
they
not
play 4 games, right?
No,
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Not the top 4. No, you're right. Well, no.
What am I missing this?
Those two teams will only play quarterfinal games because they'd be in the final Thursday.
If Thursday's the top 4.
There's only 2 games on Thursday and 2 games on Friday.
Gotcha.
2 quarterfinals Thursday, 2 quarterfinals Friday.
Gotcha. They don't play them all.
They're not doing the
4 deal.
They only have the 2 days where they play 4 games where someone's playing at 1 in the damn morning.
Gotcha. That's all I got, dog.
All right, we'll talk to you guys on Monday. Until then, take care.